Hi there and welcome back to the Life of Nello. Today we'll talk about potty training. I know a lot of people are struggling to get their Italian Greyhound potty trained, and I will give you 5 tips to get it done. Let's get started. First of all, of course, the tips I'm going to give you apply to all dogs and not just Italian Greyhounds, but especially small breeds tend to struggle a bit more with potty training. We did a survey on Instagram and over 50% of Italian Greyhound owners said that they were struggling or are still struggling to get their Italian Greyhound potty trained. So it's not just a myth or a rumor, it really is true. Italian Greyhounds sometimes love to do their business inside and people don't get their dogs potty trained. So just first of all, if you're interested in becoming an Italian Greyhound parent and that is a no-go for you, I would just recommend you not to get an Italian Greyhound, because there is still a chance that even with the best training and the best methods, you won't be able to get them fully house trained. And yeah, I just don't want dogs to end up in shelters because owners were not able to deal with this problem. And I want you to know it beforehand that you can work on it. And in our case, Nello is 100% potty trained. He will literally rather burst into a million pieces than do his business inside. So it is possible, but I don't know if we were just lucky or if we did the right thing. But let's dive right into my five tips. Tip number 1, watch your puppy 24/7. And I literally mean 24/7 because you want to learn to read their signs that they have to go, and you will only be able to really learn that when you watch them all the time. So it probably makes sense if you are able to get off work for at least 2 weeks when you get your puppy, so you have the time to watch them. And even when you're working from home or when you're busy with something else, I recommend to either keep the puppy close to you. Some people get a crate, for example, or make them wear a harness and put them on a leash so they won't be able to wander off and do their business with you not noticing it. And you want to make sure that you learn to read their signs, and they can be very subtle. So some people just ignore them because they don't see them. And for some dogs, they might start whining, others might start shivering or just get nervous a little bit. Nello, for example, he will just sit in front of me and just start shiver, but he will not whine. So every dog is different, and you have to make sure that you learn what your puppy is doing when they need to go. Tip number 2, establish a routine you always stick to and take them outside immediately. So that means when you notice your dog needs to go, then pick them up right away and take them outside. Don't wait for them to squat down and do their business inside. You want to be faster than them, and you don't want to give them the opportunity to even do their business inside, because it's better if there are no accidents inside, so the puppy will not even have this option or won't even learn that it is an option to pee inside. So when you notice they are about to do their business, you take them, grab them, go outside and make them do their business there. And to prevent that accidents happen inside, it makes sense to have like a potty schedule or something like that. For us, for example, we went outside every 2 hours when Nello was a puppy. And after they play, after they eat, after they drink, after they sleep, you want to take them outside. And I get the question a lot that if you have to go outside during the night as well. And yes, it depends on how old your puppy is when you get them, but normally it will be around 8 to 10 weeks and they won't be able to hold it in for the whole night. So it does make sense to go outside as well during the night. You won't have to go outside every 2 hours, just like during the day, because the puppy will normally sleep as well. But you want to make sure that if they wake up in the middle of the night, you don't miss that they have to go. So it depends on if you have a really light sleep or if you're just totally knocked out. For me, for example, I have a very light sleep and Nello slept in bed with me. So I would wake up right away when he woke up and I would take him outside right away. Not even wait for him to do something, just grab him and take him outside. If you don't want to have your puppy in bed, I recommend again to limit their space. So put them in a crate or put them somewhere near you where you will wake up when they have to go, because they will probably whine or want to get attention somehow, because most dogs won't pee in their own bed. They just don't like it. There are exceptions, but just make sure your dog won't be able to just walk around by themselves with nobody watching them. Tip number 3, get a puppy during summertime, or depending on where you live, during a period of time where the weather is nice. Because of course it makes sense that your puppy will not want to go outside to pee when the weather is not nice. Especially Italian Greyhounds hate bad weather, and it will make the whole process of potty training a lot more difficult. It is a lot easier when the weather is nice, not only for you but for the puppy as well. For you, because you might have to get dressed and have to get your puppy dressed, and by the time you're fully dressed it might be already too late. And also for your puppy, they hate bad weather, and the whole process of getting them potty trained is already exciting enough, so you don't want to make it even worse with bad weather. So if you have the choice and you can decide whether you get a puppy during winter or summertime, I would always recommend to go for the summer litter. Tip number 4 is use a potty command and praise them like crazy when they do their business outside. What I mean by a potty command is, for example, when Nello was a puppy, I would say something like, "Nello, go potty," over and over again while he was peeing outside, because then he would build up a connection from what I was saying to what he was doing in that moment, and he would kind of understand when I say "Nello, go potty" that this is what I expect him to do. And you have to understand that dogs learn through conditioning, and it's the same with teaching them tricks like sit and paw and stuff like that. And you of course, when the dog doesn't have to pee, it won't help, but they kind of will learn that this is what you want them to do. And as I said before, praise them like crazy when they do their business outside, because they want to please you, they want to make you happy. And when they see that they're peeing and you're praising them, then they will want to do it again, and they learn that this is a good thing. Maybe wait until they're done until you praise them, because you don't want to scare them like, "Oh," and then they will stop like, "Okay, no." And even if people look at you like, "What's wrong with her or him?" it doesn't matter. Just make sure that the puppy understands that this is a good thing. And last but not least, tip number 5. And I know this is a very unpopular opinion of mine, but I will say it anyway. Don't use potty pads or inside dog toilets or something like that. I know many people use it, but the problem with this is some dogs just won't understand the difference between a carpet and a pee pad. And it's just a lot easier, the whole process of getting them potty trained, to just have this one option of going outside and not have different options like inside toilet, outside, and the puppy will just get confused. And I've never really heard of people who have potty pads inside that their dogs always just use them. They use carpets, they use the floor, and it just, I don't know, for me it's just something that makes the whole process a lot more complicated. Also, if you think about if you have a male dog, they will start lifting their leg eventually, and that will make it a lot harder. There are dog bathrooms and that will have like a wall or something, but do you really want something like that in your apartment? And do you want to clean it all the time? And I don't know. And it might take a while, but compared to a whole life, maybe 15 years of a dog that is not potty trained, compared to just like, let's say 1 or 2 months or longer, it depends on how strict you are, but then a full life without any worries about this topic. Well, for me, I'd rather choose have a few harder months compared to a whole life. But it's your decision, and just do whatever you feel more comfortable with. To sum it all up, persistence is key when it comes to potty training an Italian Greyhound or any other dog. You want to make sure that you take them outside right away. Don't find excuses like, well, I just want to finish watching this show, or after dinner I will take them outside. No, set up rules before you get a puppy and stick to them 100%. The more consistent and persistent you are, the faster your puppy will get the hang of it. And one last thing I want to tell you. Accidents will happen no matter what. Even if you are watching them all the time, it will happen. And if it does, never ever punish your dog. It is always your fault that your dog peed or pooped inside. It's never the puppy's fault. You were just too slow. All right, I hope you liked our tips. Nello wasn't too impressed because he's sleeping and he knows all those tips already. But I hope those were helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below if they were and how potty training is going for you. And I would really, really appreciate your support. So if you liked this video, leave us a thumbs up and we'll see you in our next video. Bye!